What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball, and more importantly, welcome back to Ideal Offseason. This is a series where I put the GM cap on for a little bit and help a team navigate through their offseason. And now we try to keep this series as realistic as possible. What does that mean? It means we try to take a look at each team's individual needs and try to put them on a better path forward post this offseason. If you're the Washington Wizards, you weren't very good this last year, but you've got some interesting young pieces that you're trying to build upon, see if you can have a better future. We're going to help you do that. If you're the Lakers, you got Luka and LeBron, you're trying to win a championship, we're going to try to best set you up to do that. And in this episode, we've got the Denver Nuggets, who at the time of recording were just bounced yesterday. It was a tough end of the season. This team really tried to grit it out, but it didn't happen. So we're going to make some realistic trades for them, go through the draft, do free agency using all sorts of realistic numbers and ideas to try to put them on a better path forward, because this team's close, man. They're still close. But anyway, before we do that, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. We're getting close to 5,000 subscribers. I wonder if by the time this video goes up, we'll be there. That's pretty cool. I'll have to put out a video or something for that. But seriously, other Ideal off seasons are out. Go watch those. By far and away the most popular series on my channel. Also, go watch the Do They Fit in the NBA series videos. They get demonetized every single time. It's really unfortunate, but if you guys keep showing them love and support and you guys keep loving them, I don't care if they're demonetized. I'll keep putting them out for you. So anyway, let's go talk about the Nuggets. Alrighty, so the Denver Nuggets. This was an interesting year. We kind of saw going into this season that this could be a tough one for them. Since winning the championship just a short 2 years ago, and I can't emphasize enough, this team just won a championship 2 years ago, right? With this core, pretty much. It was going to be tough for them this year because we looked up and down the roster and we were like, ooh, it's gonna be a thin bench this year. It's gonna be a really thin bench, and that was proven to be true. This team did not have any bench to go to this year. Russell Westbrook kind of being the one guy that you could kind of go to at times, and he'd be useful. But you know, he's Russell Westbrook. Sometimes it's really, really rough. You went to Peyton Watson. Sometimes he's really great defensively, not as good other times, right? Strother had a moment here or there. You had no big man help for Jokic. It was tough. Obviously, Coach Malone, who won them that championship, got fired. We thought that was kind of a weird move, to say the least. I thought the new coach did an all right job of coming in and leading the ship during the playoffs. I mean, they were super competitive. They took the Thunder to 7 games, and they just didn't have enough in the tank, right? Because by the time they got to that point, they had quite a few injuries. But I guess even before we get to that, the GM was let go as well. And in all fairness, yeah, the GM hadn't done a great job over the past couple years. Like last year they didn't really have much of a bench. This year they didn't really have much of a bench either, ever since like Bruce Brown left and the Kentavious Caldwell-Pope thing did not work out very well. Some of the people they've drafted over recent years just hasn't really worked out, and so they were like, okay, we need a new person at the helm to kind of build out this roster. But anyway, playoffs. It was unfortunate, right? For that Game 7, Aaron Gordon was playing on one leg. Like, clap it out for that guy, right? He was gritting it out. Another clap out for Michael Porter Jr., whose arm was just kind of dangling there since Game 2 of the first round. I felt so bad for both of those guys in that game. It was rough seeing Aaron Gordon lead the game in rebounds, just trying to jump off only his like right leg or whatever. And again, Michael Porter Jr., every time he'd run back, his arm was just kind of like dangling there. And he's wearing like that diaper thing for like most of the series. So you felt bad for both of those guys because there was no one else to go to outside of them, right? That's why they had to keep playing, and it's unfortunate. So what are we gonna do? We gotta find a way to support these dudes, man. We can't be so scared to go to the bench next season. We have to get these guys some help, and we do not have many resources to make it happen. So this is going to be a really complicated video. I'm not completely sure where I'm going with this, but we're going to try to figure it out. So we're going to go through the current roster. We're going to go through their salary cap situation, which isn't very good, and then we're going to go through our draft pick situation, which also isn't very good. So yeah, let's just jump into it, man. Why not? And again, this is a good basketball team, all said and done. This team was fighting, and a large part's because they have Nikola Jokic. Before we get into players, what are these numbers right here? These are EPM numbers. What are EPM numbers, AVC? EPM stands for estimated plus minus. It's this really advanced statistic that we have that individualizes how good somebody is at offense, defense, and just overall as a player. I've then taken those numbers and indexed them so that we can get a 0 to 100 score as to how good somebody is at each of those compared to everyone else in the NBA. I will always tell you, statistics do not tell an entire story. There's always context with every single statistic, right? right? There just is. That can't be captured. But this is one of the better stats we have. It takes into account many different factors, and I think it's pretty good for the most part, at least compared to other stats we have out there. So anyway, Nikola Jokic is the best player in the world. I don't want to hear any different. Did he have the greatest playoff series ever? No, but it's like the support around him was just so rough, and like the Thunder like credits them through everything at him, and it's tough, right? You just got to get him some support. We need some more rim runners. We need some shooters, because like obviously with Michael Porter Jr. being down, that's a big thing for Jokic, is having Michael Porter Jr. out there, because he commands so much attention from people as a shooter, and then as soon as he just was dangling, right, all of a sudden he can't play that much. There's no space for him to operate in. It's unfortunate. But Jokic, awesome. We got to support him. Jamal Murray had a very good offensive season this year. While he's never been an all-star, always kind of that borderline all-star good type player. Defensively, he really had a fall off this year, and like, he's never been an elite defensive player by any means, but like I would agree it was a bit worse defensively this year. I do want to say, and this is the context that I talk about with these numbers. Again, I think when you just don't have the bench that you want, and you kind of have to play most of the game, and like I said, you just can't always rely on the people next to you constantly, like it leads to more mistakes. Those things kind of compound, and so that's my bit of context. I'm not saying it should be like 50th percentile, but I think it's important just to note that. Michael Porter Jr., Michael Never Swing the Rock Porter. Offensively, still phenomenal. He had as good of a season as he ever does. Defensively, a pretty substantial fall off, because traditionally, I know most people don't think of him as like a good defender. He's historically a really elite off-ball defender, and that kind of fell off this season. Again, kind of the team thing, I'll use the same excuse. Like, I expect him to be much higher than where he was this year, but I'll be honest, like I watched it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is not good. And that's part of the reason Coach Malone was let go, from my understanding, is that people were really disappointed with the defensive schemes this year. I've talked to some people within there, and that's kind of the word that I've gotten, is that they just didn't really like that. And I'm like, well, you didn't have a ton of great defenders out there to really help him, but, you know, is what it is. So Michael Porter Jr., big part of this team, and I know he's always the scapegoat for this team sometimes, but that's just, I don't know. I can't get behind that. Aaron Gordon, great on both sides of the basketball. Again, clap it up for him and his bum leg, trying to grit it out there. 88th percentile overall is so good to have as a guy that's only making $22 million a year. So we love Aaron Gordon. We hope that the jump shot can keep getting better. And let's move on to the Zeke Naji conversation. Yeah, there's not many guys here that make substantial money on this team, right? Because so much of the money is taken up in these first couple players, right? Like, that's totally understandable. These are very good basketball players right here. Zeke Naji, it's rough. He actually had a little stretch there where he was playing some pretty, like, okay basketball, but it just hasn't been able to maintain itself. This $8 million for the next 3 seasons is one of the worst contracts in basketball right now. Like, we can't have a 25 basically overall player, percentile player, taking up all this space, and we just don't have any to give in the first place. So part of this video is going to be doing the impossible, trying to get off of Zeke Naji. We have to find a way. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to find a way. Dario Saric, another one of these. He has a player option for $5 million. Actually, what seemed like a pretty smart signing this year, just, oh, wow, he got played off the court really quick. And it's not like, again, there's no other bigs to really go to. They just said, we'd rather have DeAndre Jordan's old ass out there than what you're doing. Honestly, like, defensively, not that bad. I'd kind of agree with this number. It's pretty average. I'm surprised the offense is as high with this statistic. But I don't know. He looked so much slower off there. It looked like he kind of fell off a cliff in terms of a player. So I have to assume he's going to pick up his player option. We got to get rid of his contract too. We can't be paying the 5th and 6th most to guys that aren't going to see the floor at all. Christian Braun, on the other hand, awesome development. We were so scared when KCP left. We were like, is Christian Braun ready for this? I don't know. And oh my gosh, did he raise to the occasion. We're accepting his team option right now. Gonna have to give him some sort of an extension. You guys figure that out on your own time. 90th percentile offensively, 80th defensively, 89th, almost 90th percentile overall as a player. Damn, like, you got these types of players on this team. Like, oh my gosh, It's awesome. And then it starts to get a little bit rougher again. We move on to Peyton Watson, who's like, look, for his price, like, it's fine. He's a young player. We hope that we're going to see some improvement out of him. We're going to accept his team option. Really good at defense, really bad at offense. And I mean really bad at offense. Like, can't really even put the ball on the floor. His offense is dunking the basketball when it's wide open. That's just what it is right now. Again, he's young. We're going to hope that he gets better, but right now we need a little bit more out of him. Russell Westbrook. Player option. I have to imagine he accepts this one because I don't think he's going to find a better place to play than Denver. And I think we're happy to keep him. Like, yes, he has his Russell Westbrook moments, but some of those Russell Westbrook moments are really, really good. Some are really, really bad. You just kind of have to know how to minimize it. The energy that he plays with is always super appreciated. Yes, he took a lot of those bad shots once we got to the playoffs again, which was really annoying to see. But like, he is one of those guys that Jokic likes to play with, because when he passes Jokic the ball, he keeps moving and he cuts and he gets the ball right back, and it makes things so much easier for everybody. Like, Westbrook's really, really smart when he doesn't have the basketball. So we like to see it, and he makes winning plays. So we're keeping him around if we can. Deron Holmes, you'll see he has no numbers here. That's because he was the first round pick of this last year that got hurt like 2 minutes into his summer league, tore his Achilles, I believe. And look, Deron Holmes, it was a really good draft pick in my opinion. Like, I thought it made a lot of sense. He's supposed to be this really athletic power forward that can also step out and hit an open three if you kind of need him to. I'm just going to hope that, like, he's healthy and he can be a solid contributor this year, because that already just, like, that's basically an addition to the team, right? That we didn't have this last season. Hopefully a competent guy that can come in and play some basketball for us, and he's got a little bit of size and athleticism to him. Cool. Just be a slightly worse Aaron Gordon or something. That'd be great. We will take that 100%. I hope that he's healthy and ready to go. Julian Strother just finished up his second year with the team. I'm really, like, not really high, but I'm high on Julian Strother, man. Like, he had the one game in the playoffs that was really, really good. I'd like to think that there's more to his game. Like, I really do. Like, the numbers, not very good right now, and I'm not going to lie, he didn't have a great season. He had very interesting moments, though, and look, he's only a second-year player, so I'm not expecting, like, anything crazy right now anyway, but I'd like to think that we can keep getting him better. He's a guy I'd really like to keep around, because I see more of a future in him than I do, like, a Peyton Watson. I just feel like he could have more of an all-around game, so we're accepting his team option, because of course. And then we have Hunter Tyson and Jalen Pickett, two guys that, again, on very cheap contracts, just finishing up their second years, not very high-level contributors at all, especially Hunter Tyson. He just can't really even get on the court. Jalen Pickett, I know Denver fans just hate when he gets on the floor. He is a little bit goofy to watch at times, even though the numbers here, like, not really like that bad in terms of like pure production. I don't know. You just kind of watch him play and it's like, not the greatest, but he's a young guy. You hope that he can get a little bit better, right? He has some pretty interesting moments in the G League at times. So that's the current roster. We've got 2 roster spots open. Next thing we want to take a look at is our salary cap situation right here, which, like I said, is scary. Now, there's 4 levels to the NBA salary cap. If you want an in-depth breakdown as to what all of those mean, go to my YouTube channel here. Go watch the Phoenix Suns ideal offseason video. I went into much more depth there on it. So basically, here's a really brief breakdown. The first level is the cap line itself. Once this has hit 0, which it has, you can only re-sign your own players for anything more than a minimum contract. There are little, like, mid-level exceptions, things like that, right? But general rule of thumb, you're only bringing your own guys back to your team for anything more than a minimum. Then you get to the luxury tax line right here. This is an interesting one. Once this one hits 0, meaning you've crossed it, which, again, they have, your team gets way more expensive to operate. And every year you're in the luxury tax, it compounds and compounds and compounds. At the time of watching this, you guys should have just watched the Celtics one. That was the main enemy of that video, so go watch that one. And then you've got the first and second apron. These are newer. They were added to the NBA to prevent star players from being traded quite so much, because the idea is if you've got this really, really good basketball team, well, then you should stick with it, right? The only way you're really getting out of these aprons is to go back down. You, like, once you kind of hit this second one, they restrict you in how you can trade, who you can sign, what you can do. They lock you up and they say, this is your team unless you want to get worse. Do you want to go get worse? Then go do that. And it's been really good for the NBA so far, honestly. Like, it makes things way more complicated and people can't get traded quite as easily, but it seems like the competition level in the NBA is balancing out pretty well, and your teams like the Celtics are kind of forced to tear things down because you just can't be a super team for forever, right? So I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a good way to balance things. As far as what we're going to do, we've got $8 million before we hit the second apron. I don't want to be at the second apron. I can live with being in the first apron because we've got Jokic and we are a title contending team. I want to maintain at least some flexibility. If we can get below the first apron in this video, that'd be awesome. But we need to make some really smart financial moves because I don't want to get locked down in the second apron. I just don't want to. We also don't have many resources to add better players. And speaking of that, draft picks. You'll notice we have no draft picks this year, and that is unfortunate, and I am going to try to get some draft picks in this video because we need cheap guys to fill out the bottom of our bench. We just really, really do. Draft picks are a good way to do that, whether they're first or second round picks, I don't care. We need to get something, and we don't have very many picks to move going forward. This Nuggets 31 pick is the only one we can actually move because you can't trade first round picks in consecutive seasons. So you'll see, like, we have a 2026, then a 28, then a 30. So we can only move this 2031 pick. So, yeah, basically our trade resources are this. That's what we have to work with, which is scary because we need a lot of bench help. Like, here's the thing, right? So let's zoom out a little bit and talk strategy for just a second, right? So the name of this game is depth, right? We need to add some depth. We've got some players on this roster that are just unplayable, taking up too much money, but we don't have a lot of ways to incentivize people to take these guys, right? So we've got to get creative and figure out ways to do so. We got to find teams that are in just as desperate of situations, or they're in very, very fortunate situations where they can just afford to give up stuff, in order to make this happen, right? Because here's my thing. I look at this team and I go, this first five is good enough to win you a title. It is, right? Like, obviously injuries and everything, but like this five is really, really good at basketball. All the numbers suggest this first five is one of the best at basketball. The Jokic Murray pick and roll is deadly. Aaron Gordon is like a perfect guy to have next to a Jokic at any point. Christian Brown keeps getting better. Michael Porter Jr. makes everything sing, right? That's kind of how it's supposed to work. And again, we hope that we can see some defensive bounce back once we get a couple more players on the team in Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. I don't want to trade Murray or Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, Jokic, obviously. I don't want to trade any of them. Anyone else is up for grabs, though. And so we've got to do what we can to give us some more financial flexibility somehow, some way, and just get some playable players. Because right now, Westbrook is fine. Strother, I'm hopeful for. Holmes, I'm hopeful for. Peyton Watson, like, I can find other good defensive players, like, and Strother as well. Like, I'm not saying we have to keep him, but, like, we need some big man help. We need some rim protection, right, just on this team, because we just have zero rim protection on this team outside of Porter Jr. just being tall and occasionally walking into a block, right? So that's what we need to do, and let's go figure it out. We also need to get some draft picks because we need to get some cheap players on this team. So let's move to the draft portion of the video and figure it out. Alrighty, and that brings us back here to Fanspo. Fanspo, for those of you that aren't familiar, really cool resource that kind of helps you like make these trades, do mock drafts. They've got a bunch of other tools here that you can kind of play around with that are a lot of fun. I'm not sponsored. I just like to point it out. I think it's a really cool website. The UI is really clean as well, which I really, really appreciate. By the way, did you just skip the past, like, 15 minutes of this video, the whole, like, intro section or whatever? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Go back and watch it. What the hell is wrong with you, you swine? You insolent swine. Go back and watch it. No, well, no, go back and watch. I'm just messing with y'all a little bit with the hostilities just because I read the statistics and I know that, like, 60% of you skip it because you have the attention span of a Dorito. So just go back and watch it. You're missing a ton of context otherwise as to why we're doing what we're doing because I don't want to hear, EVC, why aren't you trading Michael Porter Jr.? Oh, my God, he's so bad. Shut up. Shut up. I don't want to see that comment. Oh my God, you're dumb. But anyway, how many people can we trade? Well, we've got 2 roster spots open right now. We don't have any draft picks right now, but we're going to try to acquire some draft picks. So I'd like to kind of make these like 1-for-1 swaps, right? Like 1 player in, 1 player out. If not, just send player out, take nobody back. That's what I'd kind of like to do because another thing we're going to need to use in this video is minimum contracts. Thankfully, people are more willing to take minimum contracts nowadays just because of how the salary cap kind of works. These mid-level contracts don't really get made too much anymore, so we need to do a better job of, as an organization, to be like, hey, pretty solid player that is trying to earn himself a better contract next year. Come play for us right now. You can play with Jokic, all these other really talented players that are going to make you look so good. You got to come play here in the Mile High with us, right? Give us a minimum this year, play hard for us this year, and then you can go get your money elsewhere after that. That's our pitch this year, and so we should have a really good opportunity to do that because, again, we got Jokic, right? So first thing we got to do, I got to get either Zeke Naji or Dario Saric off this team. Not many teams are willing to take this on. Saric is going to be the easier one to move because we can just send him to a team with cap space, Brooklyn Nets most likely, and they can just buy him out or do whatever, right? But how are we going to incentivize them to do that is the question. I haven't done much thinking about this, so you're kind of just going to watch me react to this live and in person and try to puzzle this stuff. I love doing puzzles, by the way, like logic puzzles, so this is really fun for me. I hope it's fun for you guys. Leave me some comments on what you guys think, or jump on the Discord, throw some of your trade ideas in here, and if I could fucking talk, throw your trade ideas in the Discord so I can look at them, because I'm sure there's going to be other good ideas that you guys come up with. Okay. Well, one thing I know about the Brooklyn Nets is they have too many draft picks this year. So one thing that they would probably like to do is move up in the draft somehow, right? That's probably fair. The other thing they would like is to acquire some young players. Well, who has a way for them to move up is the question. So let's duplicate this really quick. What I want to see is draft order. Who's a team that it wouldn't mind moving back in the draft in some way, or just doesn't need the picks that they have? I'm looking through Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City's got young players, and they don't need all their draft picks because Oklahoma City is in this spot where they actually can't use all their draft picks, and it's kind of a negative because they just don't have enough roster spots in their team to roster all their picks, so they lose a little bit of value that way in terms of trade negotiation because people will just say, well, either give us the picks or just draft someone that you can't use. Like, it's a zero-sum game kind of in that one, right? So we could potentially make that work. The thing is, like, it's not like OKC wants to trade back for this 26th and 27th pick because, like, they don't want more picks. I'm sure Brooklyn wouldn't mind moving up to 24. But how do we incentivize people to do that? So let me try to work this out. Where's OKC? Oh, yeah, they're at the top. I don't want Houston. I want OKC. Because here's the thing. We would be taking on, in this realm, like, say, the 26th pick comes back to us. What are we giving up in this? We need Dario Saric to somehow end up on the Brooklyn Nets so they can just waive him or do something with him. I don't know. They can figure it out, right? They've got so much cap space. They literally are not going to be able to use it this summer just because, like, so many other guys are going to be draft picks anyway. Like, they just don't give a shit, right? The Thunder, on the other hand, they need to push assets back. You always see the Thunder once or twice a year make moves to where they kind of will make like these really small trades where they push their assets back because they can't use all of them at once, right? They're trying to extend their treasure chest as much as possible, which is genius by them. This is why they're like the best run organization in the NBA. And what we have is something pretty valuable, which is our 2031 pick. It pushes a draft pick down the line for them so to where they're probably willing to give up some picks now to do so. So I think this already is where we start to move our 2031 pick. We send that over to the Thunder. I think what happens next is the 24 pick comes over here to Brooklyn. So now they've moved up in the draft, right? And also OKC can afford to get rid of someone like an Ousmane Dieng right here. Again, they just don't really need him, and he could use going to Brooklyn so he can actually get some playing time. He comes over to the Nets. The Nets have now moved up in the draft and acquired a young player. They've taken on a contract, which they really probably just don't give a shit about, right? Because again, buy him out, it doesn't matter. They want to move up in the draft. In this case, we could take on, because we just traded the draft pick, which is very valuable, we could take on the 27 pick as well, right? So just think this through with me for a second. How does this work right here? This works financially. I'm not surprised by that, right? That makes sense. So in this case right here, what has happened? The Thunder have acquired a pick, and they've moved their asset back, right? They've gotten a first round pick for what is the 24th pick now. It's not the biggest deal in the world if they have that. They've gotten off of Ousmane Dieng, right? Not gotten off of him, but they've used that as a resource as well to go get this future first round pick, because they can't use their pick anyway, really, right? Like, their team is going to be full of rookies, and they just can't afford to do that. So I think that this makes some base level sense. There's part of me that wonder, should the Thunder get like a player back? But I don't think they necessarily like want a player, you know? I don't really think that they need one. So I think that they'd just be happy to get a future first like this, which could be really good. Who knows? Like the Nuggets could blow up for all we know by 2031, right? We're getting the 2 first-round picks because we've sent out ours, which is definitely the most valuable pick being moved in this, because these are just late first-round picks being exchanged right here. The Nets get to move up. They get Jeng. There's probably something here that says no, because they'd have to take Jeng back in this as well, because they've traded 2 first-round picks, right? So they get Jeng for one, and they get to move up for the other, right? That's fair. They take on a little salary for us, and what have we gotten? We've got 2 late first-round picks. Again, Brooklyn can't really use all of these either, right? And the Thunder get to push their assets back. I think that this is fine. Like, I think that this makes a lot of sense for everybody. Again, maybe you think that this is an overpay for the Thunder, but Jeng has not played like any basketball in the NBA. We just don't know anything about him. He's a complete unknown. And this 24th pick for a future asset that you can push down the line, this works, man. This works for everybody. So we've now acquired, well, we've lost Saric, so that's great. So he just went off the team, and we've just got that money back. We've actually dropped below the first apron already. That's great. That's a win. Thank you very much. I'm thrilled about that. That's already a win of the offseason. And now we've got 2 first-round picks via the Knicks and Houston. So we have the Knicks 25 first-round pick, and we have the Rockets 25 pick, and that is pick number 26 and pick number 27. Cool. I can add 2 players to this team then that in a deep draft, they might be able to play for me next year, right? Like, I'm trying to get some people that can play, you feel me? Like, oh my God. Alrighty. That's one trade. I'm actually pretty happy about that. I'm surprised that that worked out as well as it did. Now, how the hell do I get Zeke Naji off this team? And the only thinking I've really done before this video is I'm like, okay, who's a team that is just desperate to do something, right? Desperate to do something. And I'm like, well, the team that might be the most desperate this year are like the Phoenix Suns, almost certainly, right? Because they need to cut salary, right? They need to cut salary something stupid. Kevin Durant's going to be gone, right? He's certainly going to be traded somehow, some way. But they need to start cutting salary because this is ridiculous. For how bad of a team they were this year, they got to get dudes off this team. Well, I can help you with that. I really, really can, because I see a guy by the name of Royce O'Neal, who's honestly a pretty solid basketball player. He's a good vet, 3-and-D guy, right? Like, he's making $10 million. You don't need to be paying him $10 million. Cody Martin didn't really do much for you. He's a good defensive player. That's about it, though. He's 29. I don't know if many people want this Cody Martin $8.5 million. Well, I wouldn't mind. I'll take it. Like, I'll take Cody Martin's that instead of Zeke Naji, because I can at least throw Cody Martin on the floor, right? Like, he's basically Peyton Watson, right? Except he's shown a little bit more offense in his time in the NBA, and he's a little bit wiser. So I'm cool with that. So guess what? You take on Zeke Naji for me. I know it's longer money. I know it is. So I'm going to have to incentivize you guys to take something else. But I'll take Cody Martin off here. Honestly, no, I'll take Royce O'Neal, because this is longer term money, and he's 31. So you can give me back Royce O'Neal in this. That's totally fine, but I need to incentivize you guys. You guys need some young guys. So why don't I just give you young Cody Martin, right? And Peyton Watson, he's 22 years old. And like, I know I'd be sad to see Peyton Watson go, because he is one of the few guys in the Nuggets that actually got minutes. But again, offensively, kind of useless for us. We need something to get Zeke Naji off the team. We have to make sacrifices to get Zeke off the team. Send Peyton Watson's ass over here. He's much cheaper. He's half the price of Cody Martin, and you're going to get literally half the price, actually, and you're going to get the same thing. So there you go. You get young Cody Martin, and I'll take Cody Martin back. Guess what? We'll do that. I don't actually think that this money is going to work. I'm doing math in my head. It's going to be close. Yeah, it's failed. We need to cut $800K. Okay, yeah. Good mental math, ABC. Good job. Guess what? You guys want another young player? Because if I trade you Jalen Pickett, I'll give them the choice of Hunter Tyson or Jalen Pickett. Which of these young dudes do you want? They'll say Jalen Pickett's at least a little bit better, and we need guys that can at least somewhat dribble the basketball, so you can have Jalen Pickett. That's where Nuggets fans go, ha! Yes, hooray. We still should save money by the end of this. That trade works. Now, let me just think this through, right? Does this make sense? The Suns are trying to tear shit down, right? They're trying to tear shit down. Do they want Peyton Watson when they already have Ryan Dunn? I think what they're going to say most likely is, look, we're just looking for any way to like decrease our salary. People don't really want Cody Martin or like Royce O'Neal most likely. And we're one of the few teams that's willing to pay this much for these two, just because, again, we're already paying bad contracts. You get Zeke Naji, he's a little bit younger. You need some big man help. Give him a shot. Maybe he works for you guys. We've seen Zeke Naji play good basketball in the NBA. We have. It's just been a while. Peyton Watson, he's more of an asset, right? He's more of an asset to you, and he's cheaper than Cody Martin is. He's easier to move in a deal. Cool. Jalen Pickett, if you don't like him after this year, get rid of him. Like, who cares? Again, this is just a better asset than what you had here. So we'd actually free up a roster spot. We're taking back a little bit more money in this, but we're helping them save about $4-ish million and get off of things that probably going to be hard to move, like I said. So I don't think this is the worst thing in the world. Again, the Suns are desperate. I think I can get behind this one. Alrighty, so what just happened here? We took on a little bit more money in Royce O'Neal here, but at least he's a playable basketball player, and we unfortunately lost Peyton Watson, which was an asset of ours, but you know, is what it is. We'll take Mr. Cody Martin, who again, kind of the same thing. Actually, when you look at him, he is just like a little bit better overall. I'm just switching between the two here. Like, you get a little bit better defender and offensive player, but he's way more money. The Suns desperately need to cut money, so is what it is. So this is now Cody Martin. He's playable, at least, right? He's playable. And then Zeke Naji is now gone. We've got no center help. We are going to need to address that in the draft somehow, some way. Not sure how. And then Jalen Pickett is also off the team. So overall, we've made $1 million in progress. We've made only about $1 million, but the point is we're going the opposite direction, which is good, right? Or we're going down. So that's good. And then Royce O'Neal, we're going to put you like right here, I guess. Well, honestly, I should just assume that he'll play more than De'Ron Holmes just because we haven't seen him play. We're going to be hopeful, though. Put the depth chart in whatever order you want. So we've got 2 first-round picks that we can use in the draft now. We've made some moves. I'm not sure I want to make other moves. Is there a way I can move Hunter Tyson? Who would want Hunter Tyson? Because the only way he gets moved somewhere is if there was, like, somehow... We're a first apron team, so we can take back 125% of his value. So just out of curiosity, let me do the math right here. This is the power of Google Sheets times 1.25. So we could take back a $2.7 million contract, but who's desperate to get rid of $2.7 million? It's just not, it's not applicable. So Hunter Tyson's going to have to be on the team. It is what it is. He'll have an option after this year. So if we really want to get rid of him, we can. So we've got 4 roster spots. We're going to use 2 of them on draft picks, right? I'm totally cool with that. And then we've got 2 free agent spots we can use, which I'm actually excited about because we should be able to attract some okay level free agents to join this team, right? And honestly, what we should even do now, because I forgot to do this earlier, how many of our own free agents are we wanting to bring back? DeAndre Jordan, he's just not that helpful at this point. Kankar, not really. None of these other guys. Trey Alexander was actually kind of interesting as a 2-way player last year, so we might bring him back. So I'll remember Trey Alexander as a second-round pick from last year, but he was a 2-way guy. I just don't know if we're going to have the roster space for him. We might just have to go get better players. So we'll see what happens with the draft and everything. Let's move forward to the draft. Alrighty, the Fanspo Mock Draft Simulator, a really nice tool to be able to use in these videos. So one thing I've done is I've actually remade the big board on here so that it's hopefully a little bit more realistic than it has been in some of the other videos. So I'm hoping that that's the case. I mean, the lottery thing or the draft simulator is still going to do what it's going to do, but we've got the 26th pick in the draft now, which I'm excited to use. I am excited to use. So, and we've got options here. We've got 2 picks in a row, and there are some interesting players on the board here. I'm just kind of scrolling through so you can kind of see them all right here. And again, you can put these guys in whatever order that you guys see fit. I just kind of tried to make it a little bit more realistic. It's not my actual big board, I promise. So names that we see here, we see Cedric Coward. He's been really interesting because of what's been going on at the draft with him. He was kind of lighting it up in the scrimmages. I don't actually read into the scrimmages like too much. None of the scouts actually give a shit like how many points you put up in it because it's just nonsense, like pickup basketball basically. But He is an interesting guy. We're not sure if he's going back to Duke or not yet at the time of recording this. 6'6", really lethal shooter type of guy. Interesting athlete as well. Yeah, solid basketball player, like really solid build. He's not the best like with the basketball or anything, but he can step out and hit a three, and he's a little bit older, so that's interesting to us, right? It really is, because we could use somebody like that on this team. Other people, Mr. Pettiford here, a guy that I'm actually a pretty big fan of now that I've really gotten a chance to see him a little bit more and watch as much film as I can on him. Crazy athlete for 6'1". Maybe not like the most lethal shooter in the world, but I actually think he's got some pretty high, he's got a pretty high ceiling in the NBA because of his athletic ability. Like, he's got pretty good vision. Like, I don't know. I just like him a lot. Maxime, or however the hell you say his name, renowned, bouncy center, senior level guy, makes pretty smart passes overall. He's a good shot blocker. That feels almost like a minimum that we kind of need to take with this pick, right? After that, we've got Lendeborg here. Again, we're not sure if he's staying in the draft. He's a really interesting guy in my mind. And then I see Noah Penda as well, who's a guy that's used to playing without the basketball. Big and strong already. Should be a solid defender. Plays with a lot of energy. Decent jumper right now. Some interesting names. Just knowing what I know about free agency, I think what I want to do is I want to go get more experienced guys. That's what I'd like to do. And I feel like there's more guards that I can go find to support Jamal Murray and Westbrook, because we need more ball handling on this team. And more shooting, but what's going to be hard is finding other bigs. So I think we go with Renowned here. Again, he said his name to me and I don't remember how to say it. I'm just so bad with names. It doesn't stick in my brain. I'm sorry. So I want to take Renowned or whatever for now, so that we have a little bit of shot blocking. We've added some size to the team. He is a smart guy. He's shown that he can step out and hit a three-pointer before, so that's enough for me to be like, yep, my boy, welcome to the squad. All right, and I should go add him quick so that we know the actual salary that we're working with. So that was the 27th pick right here. Cool. Let's copy this over. Let's grab him right here. This is how much money we're going to have for him, which is good. He's cheap because we don't have much space to work with here. We really don't. And he's going to get a nice 4-year contract out of us. So now we've got another center on the roster. That's great. I'm happy about that. Who are we taking now? Penda's really interesting to me. Coward's really interesting to me. Lendeborg is as well. I'm not going to lie. I'm not sure either of these guys are staying in the draft just because they have NIL deals that are probably more than them getting picked here. And the only way I see them staying in the draft is if they get like a promise from a team that they'll be picked like around like pick 15 or something, because that's how much like they would have to make it pick like 15 to warrant staying in the draft. So I'm gonna ignore Coward and Lendeborg for now, because I think if they ended up in the draft, or if they were available at this pick, they would have just gone back to school. So Penda's who I'm kind of staring at right now. I'm not huge on Cam Jones personally. Phylan is an interesting player, but again, I'd rather just go with someone that's a little bit more mature, just a little bit older, and Noah Penda can play without the basketball a little bit. He brings us some size at the wing again, which is good because we just lost some in Peyton Watson. I just like that he's a strong-nosed guy. He already has a lot of really good habits of playing without the ball, so I'm going to go with Penda here for the last pick. Alrighty, so we had Mr. Penda here. He's going to make this much money. He gets a 4-year, and we are running out of money really quickly. But at least we have Mr. Penda on the team now. So I love this draft. I think that worked out really well for us. We got 2 guys of positional need. We added a lot of size with this, a lot of smarts, and just some toughness. So I feel good about that, and even potential spacing in both of these. We're not quite sure yet, but we used up our 2 draft picks. That's fine. So that's the draft. We move on to free agency now, where we need to add some shooting to this team desperately, and that might be it, right? Because Deron Holmes could maybe be another big man for us if needed. So I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. Alrighty, so free agency. I think I'm gonna have to pass on Trey Alexander for now. I do think he's interesting. He showed a little bit this last year, but look, I need to do other things. Like, I desperately need to get other things on this team, and we might still have to like trade people. By the way, we don't have this Nuggets first round pick anymore, and I don't know how else we can move people, in all honesty. Like, I really don't, unless we can like reroute Royce O'Neal to another team somehow and take someone on that's cheaper. Maybe we need to try to do that first, because these 2 veteran minimums are going to move us to the second apron, so I might need to reroute Royce O'Neal already in this mock draft. Get out of here. I don't need you anymore. Who could take on a Royce O'Neal? Let's go on to player contracts and see, like, someone around $10-ish million, because it needs to be someone cheaper. Who's a guy that people are trying to get rid of for around that much? Sam Hauser, no. Like, they desperately need it to be less money, right? Or just who's looking to get off a certain guy here? Pat Connaughton? Interesting. He was not very valuable to them this last year. He is cheaper. How much money are we saving in the difference between Royce O'Neal and Pat Connaughton here? It saves us less than $1 million. I'm not quite sure if that's worth it to us, even though there would definitely be a thing we could do for that, so we'll come back to it. Kyle Anderson, it's longer money. Again, I think it needs to be more so around the $8 or $7 million to really make it worth it for us. Jacques Landell, we could add another big to the team, which wouldn't be the worst thing. I know Jacques hasn't been completely playable, but he's not, like, horrible either. So if we take a look at Jacques here, like, just kind of an average player, I don't really trip about that, right? Again, just having another big body on the team that's playable wouldn't be the worst thing. We'd save about $2 million, a little over, actually, in doing so. That leaves us the ability to actually go get someone that we need. Royce O'Neal's could be the shooting that they need, and just another vet to add in Houston. And look, they're not really paying anybody else anyway, right? So I could see that, because otherwise they probably just got to release Jacques Landell, because like even if they make some sort of Giannis deal or something, you probably just have to get rid of him, right, for the amount of money that he's being paid. So let's keep an eye on that one. That could be one that we come back to. Josh Okogie. Do they need a vet like Royce on the team? Would they rather give up Okogie? I don't know. Maybe we try to turn him into a Bruce Brown 2.0 type of dude. I don't know. Gary Harris. They could want Royce, but it's not exactly a positional need of them. There's already Jang, so we already talked about that one. Dean Wade. No, they can't take on more money in Cleveland. They got to do the opposite thing. John Conchar. No, probably not. Tari Eason. No, as much as I'd love to add Tari Eason to this team, that'd be awesome. Dalen Terry, no, they just don't need him. Okay, I think the move is Jacques. I think that's kind of the move that we have to go with here. So we're just going to say that the Rockets are kind of getting in on this deal as a late addition to it, right? So let's bring the Rockets in, and they're like, look, we had to use, we just didn't really need Jacques at this point anyway for, like, the amount of value he really brought to us. So we need some shooting and another veteran presence or something like that. You guys can have Royce over here. We'll take Jacques in this one, right? I think that's fair. You have him locked up for a decent amount of time. That's cool. And again, you just don't need Jacques Landell on this team. You're going to play other people before that. And we're probably not going to play him that much either, but his contract also isn't guaranteed, which is interesting. So if after this season it's not working out, cool, we can get rid of him. It's not a big deal. So we save a little bit more money in doing this. This should work for everybody, right? Everybody's happy? Cool. All right, you know what? That's how the swap ended up working then. Royce is going here. We take back Jacques. They probably weren't going to necessarily keep him anyway. So now Royce, I'm missing you a little bit now, Royce. I'm not going to lie, but I need to make the money move, right? Oh, I typed him again, actually. So this is now Jacques. We've saved some money in this, which is good. We've got another center here, which is good. Like, that's fine. He's a playable basketball player. I am missing not having Royce on this team already, though. So it was short-lived, but you're gone. Okay. What does our bench look like right now? Russell Westbrook, playable. Julian Strother, God, I hope so. Cody Martin, same thing that we had with Peyton Watson, but maybe a little less athletic. Noah Penda, let's just hope he can get on the court. Deron Holmes, we hope he's something. Renowned, hopefully something, right? We've got a lot of hopefuls right now. We need some more solidified guys. We've got $6.2 million. The minimum contracts right here. So the maximum here is this number right here. So let me just put this number here equals this times 2. So this is obviously, I'm just going to format this so it's a little bit clearer for you guys to see. We can't get 2 really like veteran dudes on the team, but what I would like to see is, let me get a sum formula right here. I'm trying to figure out like what's the max amount of years we can make work with this. So what I'm looking at right now, for those of you that aren't aware, is a minimum contract in the NBA is based off of years of experience, and I want to know how many years of experience I have to work with right now. And considering we have 6.2, That tells me I probably can't get like a 10-year guy with somebody else, so I need to, honestly, I should do this like this. Let's do equals the amount of space we have left minus like one 10-year guy, so we have 2.6 left. So I can get 2.667, 2.6, no, so I can get a maximum guy, or I could get a guy with 4 years and less. Okay, that's something. That's something, right? Or I could obviously get 10 and then more of something else, right? So let's go to free agency. I need a guard. I need someone that can shoot that thing. Malcolm Brogdon is the obvious answer here. Malcolm Brogdon is definitely the obvious answer. Chris Paul as well. Obvious answer for this. Brogdon is kind of going to be on a prove it kind of year, right? It wasn't a great year with Washington. You can't really blame him, but the opportunity for him to go play off of Jokic, he can play with or without the basketball. We're convincing Malcolm Brogdon to come here, man. Like, you can play over Strother right away, and he can handle the rock a little bit. Yeah, no, welcome to the team, my boy. That's our 10-year guy right there. So we have now added Mr. Brogdon here, and I'm going to hope he hasn't completely fallen off a cliff as a basketball player, right? So we are going to give him the 1-year minimum, which is a lot for us right now, but we're going to give it to you. There you go, my friend. You now have this very playable basketball player. Julian Strother moved down. We hope you're going to play more. My hope is that Julian Strother will outplay Cody Martin and Noah Penda, but we'll see. Let's throw Mr. Brogdon right there. Cool. What else do we want to do? The center spot? Fine right now. We've got all the white boys we could possibly want at center right now. The power forward spot, we've got Aaron Gordon and hopeful Aaron Gordon and Deron Holmes. Michael Porter Jr., we've got options here with Strother as well. Got a couple solid guards here and a couple solid here. Probably just need to go find one more guard, right? Like, I think we've got enough potential forwards on this team, because, again, Strother could play that as well. I need to go get one more guard on this team. So who's it going to be? Who's it gonna be? Is it like a Gary Harris? He's been on the Nuggets before. Gary Harris was shooting like league average last year at best, so I don't know. Is it an Amir Coffey? Amir Coffey's probably not going to get a great contract, but and defensively he's like not that great. Let me just pull up Amir Coffey really quick so you can see. Like, it's not the greatest season, but like he did score like 10 points a game this year on pretty solid shooting. So that's an option for us. Let me get back to the free agency over here. Who else is available? You could add a Seth Curry. No, it's got to be a younger person though. That's the thing. We said 4 years or less now. They've been in the NBA, so that limits us pretty heftily. So is this where we just go bring Trey Alexander back? This might be where we have to do something like that, unless there's someone else that I'm really missing here. Like, it's not going to be Trey Jones. It's not going to be any of these guys. I just don't see it. I don't see that guy being available here. I can't bring in Eric Gordon. He's too old. I guess we're just bringing Trey Alexander back, huh? That might just be the best move. So let me go back to Denver here, because it's just been 1 year of him. And let's pull up the stuff for Trey Alexander, just so we can really be sure this is something that we'd be interested in, right? So played in 24 games this year. It wasn't the greatest. 1.3 points, not the greatest efficiency really anywhere. Wasn't playing a ton of minutes, but he was interesting at points. And I'd really like to find something better. I feel like I'm conceding by doing this, and there's gotta be a better option, right? There's gotta be. Maybe I'll sort this by like years of experience. I don't know why this like years of experience thing is so incorrect. Matisse Thybulle, no, it's gotta be someone younger. Is it Aaron Holiday? Again, how many years does Aaron Holiday have? We've looked at him a couple times in this video. I don't think it's 4 years or less, unfortunately. So no, it's 6. So that obviously puts us out of range of it because of the 2.8, and we only have 2.6 left to work with. And I'm really trying to avoid this second apron right here. I mean, because that just makes everything so much harder for us. Keon Johnson, he's got a club option. They might not retain him. How many years does Lonnie Walker technically have here? Is that an option for us? I couldn't believe he didn't sign with Denver. He's 6. That's kind of what I figured. Okay, just give me a moment. I'm going to figure this out. Just throwing out an idea right here, just spitballing a little bit. We could bring Bones back. The motherfucker Bones should have never been traded. Dude got busy in Denver. That's an option for us. That's certainly an option. Taylor Horton Tucker, too long in the league. McLaughlin, too long in the league. We're just getting into places where it's not going to happen. We might we might bring Bones in, man. We might bring Busy Bones in. Just, we know he gets buckets. Defensively, he struggles. How are we looking defensively at this point? It's, we've got a couple good defensive players. Again, we got to hope that MPJ and Jamal Murray do better. Brogdon, not the greatest defender. We hope that we got two interesting ones here that could hopefully play some solid enough defense, but I feel like we don't have like the defensive guard that we would want to be able to throw on a guard if we really need to. So I'm struggling with this hard. It's just it's the last roster spot, but like I don't want to be like just completely oblivious to the fact that that's an issue, right? Because like I'm not bringing in Ryan Rupert. Like his numbers are just not good at all. It's not gonna be Reeves. They're probably holding on to him. Jalen Bridges, Trey Alexander. I can't do it. I can't do it. I feel like Bones is the option for now. And maybe what we do is we just make his contract like non-guaranteed is what we'll say is like, hey, we might even give him like, what are those? Is it an Exhibit 8 contract or something like that, where basically we've just got an open training camp spot. Somebody's going to try out. We're going to say it's Bones for now, and we're going to give him his money, right? So let's go with Bones. Let's give him his contract, but it's going to be not guaranteed. So at any point we could potentially drop Bones or something if the right thing comes around. That way maybe we can play in the buyout market or something like that, right? So there's his 1-year deal. Bones slides in here. You're coming back home, my boy, and this is your 2025-2026 Denver Nuggets. Let's recap. We kept the starting 5 intact, and here's why. Could we have maybe gotten some better depth by trading Michael Porter Jr. or Brown or Aaron Gordon or something? Yep, like we totally could have. We totally could have. I just know that this 5 wins you a championship already. Like we've seen somebody like this team do it before. So I'd like to think that we can do it again with them. We know that the problem this year was not in these 5. It was the fact that there was nobody behind them. Now, what did we do to address that? Well, it wasn't much, but we made it happen. We got off of the Zeke Naji contract and the Dario Saric one for playable basketball players. Cody Martin's on the team now. Jacques Landale's on the team, who's at least like a playable big. We're hoping our first-round picks this year are somewhat playable. We're hoping Deron Holmes is somewhat playable. We've got a lot of hopes on the team. Brogdon should be very serviceable for us. Bones, if you need a score, we're going to hope Julian Strother gets better. There's a lot of hope on this team, right? There's a lot of hope. And I don't think we're going to get the level of production by trading Michael Porter Jr. that warrants finding something else. Like I really just don't know what that would be. Like for like getting back 2 cheaper contracts and guys, like we need other scorers on the team, and like Christian Brown still isn't really generating his own offense. So I'd rather just keep MPJ on the team, honestly. But I'm open to ideas. If you guys have suggestions, like leave them in the comments. I'd be curious to see them. I don't think it's like a crazy situation to say you might want to trade like one of these guys here or something. Hell, even Jamal Murray at times. Like I'm down to hear the conversation, but I think this is better. This is better. There's at least a lot more hope on here. There's some young guys that can get up and down the court and play with high energy. Let's hope that this works, y'all. Let's hope. At the very least, we avoided the second apron this year. We did lose our pick, which sucks, but we should have somebody that can come off the bench this year. Somebody. But anyway, I appreciate you guys as always. Let me know your comments down below. Let's move on to the comments of the video. Alrighty, y'all. Comment of the video is coming from the Joan Beringer video here. Always a lot of fun doing these. They're always demonetized, so please go show them some love, because if you guys keep loving them, I'll keep putting them out, because I mean, the monetary prospect of it doesn't matter that much to me. Also, Ideal Offseason is here. Go watch them. We're doing one for every single team. Every single team. And that's why the comment to the video is for Johnny Keene here, very frequent commenter on the channel. Hey, man, are you doing a Nuggets offseason soon? Boom, bitch. Boom, look at that. Ask and you shall receive. 47 minutes ago, I started recording 55 minutes ago. Boom, look at that. Ask and you shall receive. Great service. I've got a lot of comments to get to on this video because this video hasn't been out too long at the time of recording this. This is currently the 19th that I'm recording this. I'm trying to get very far ahead because I have to do a lot of stuff to get ready for the draft and everything for my company. It's a busy time, but anyway, I appreciate you guys as always. Go join the Discord. That's how you can get access to the spreadsheet. go there, go to the announcements tab or channel, and you can download it there for free. Everything's free. Join the Discord for free. Get the sheet for free. It's all fun. You can make your own stuff with it. As always, see the comment section rules. There's a lot of new viewers here, so just basically don't be an asshole in the comments. If you go into my comments and just go like, oh my god, you fucking idiot. EVC, why didn't you do this and this? I'm probably just gonna hide you. I'm gonna keep it real with you. If you want to know what that means, look here. It's in the description. But anyway, I don't know. I just like saying this stuff. I appreciate it as always, y'all. I'm really loving Ideal Offseason. Glad it's back. And yeah, we'll talk later. Thanks so much.